In today's video, we're going to take a look at media query basics for CSS. And that's what you use to make your site look different on different devices. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to Watch Me Work live stream number 104 here on the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your support. If you are watching live, say hi, as many people already. Even Serge is commenting that he's on time today because I'm a few minutes late. I've got a fireplace being installed at my house here, and I don't think that's going to interrupt with the stream, although if the guys need me, I will just put things on pause for a while. But anyways, so here we are. Today's video is brought to you by mysites.guru. Head on over to mysites.guru, get a free site audit for your Joomla site, and while you're there, check out all the tools and information that will save you time and money managing one Joomla site or multiple Joomla sites. All right, so hello, Brian, and Serge is there, and Mary's there, Bjorn is there. Hello, everyone. So as I said when I put this out on Twitter and social media, media query finally clicked for me when I was working on site recently. And because I have always enjoyed working, well, I always work on the template for the desktop, and for the most part it works out on mobile, but fine-tuning it and how to do the CSS for that, I thought, well, I'll figure that out someday. Anyways, so I have. So let's turn our attention to the screen here, and we'll get right to it. Which button is that? It is that button there. All right, I'll put this link in the video description later on, but I'm going to put it in chat right now. This is answers the question, what is a media query? And a media query, excuse me, sneeze off screen here. Basically, a media query is a CSS technique, it says here introduced in CSS 3, and it uses the @media rule to include a block of CSS properties only if a certain condition is true. So what I'm going to be looking at today is an existing template with existing blocks, although later existing media queries, although later on I'm going to create a new one for a certain view on a certain device. But there are a number of things that you can do, and you can, it basically looks for it, even in this first example, if the screen is up to 600 pixels, then change the background color is light blue. So you're basically setting CSS conditional on whatever the media query is. It looks how wide is the screen, or maybe what device it is, or some other things, but we'll just be looking at those things today. All right, so to do that, we're going to work on my guinea pig site, my live site, Basic Joomla. And what I've got opened up here is the template for Asteroid. We'll get that opening up because what we're going to do is do some custom CSS. So depending on the template that you're using, there'll be a method for adding custom CSS for your site. And so here in Asteroid, the method that they have is a box right here in the template, custom code, and we can put it here. And so I'm going to be putting it down at the bottom. So custom CSS goes here. If you're using Protostar, the default Joomla 3 template, you will put it in a, I believe the CSS file is called user.css. You might have to create that, and I have a tutorial in the channel for that. Or if you're using a Rocket theme, you're going to open up custom.scss, I think, file. Anyways, I have a tutorial on that as well. Anyways, if you don't know how to customize the CSS in your template, you'll have to figure that out to use this. Also, I will say this, your template, for instance, Asteroid templates, they may have buttons that you can turn on and off for certain settings according to devices that are being shown on there. Bjorn has put template CSS custom.css. I think that is, oh, is that for Protostar? Anyway, so some templates have places where you can actually set the CSS for a device. And in fact, if you're using a page builder, it will let you do that as well. But here's how to do it just raw and in the wild using custom CSS. So what we're going to do is go to the home page here, and I'm going to hit F12 for Chrome DevTools. So I'm using Chrome here. And then I'm going to, in this left-hand corner over here, I'm going to toggle this button which shows toggle device toolbar. It is show desktop or mobile devices. And I'm going to toggle that. Okay, so now here we are viewing what my site looks like on iPad Pro. Let's go up here and see what it looks like on the iPhone 10. All right, and now we are going to go to 100% width, and there is what it looks like. Now, if we use the selector button over here, select an element button, you can click that, and now we can highlight areas in the site here, and we can see their CSS. So let's see, we'll just click here, and down the right hand side here, oh, I need to make myself disappear. Down the right hand side here, we can see the CSS that is affecting this part of the page. Now, as you go down, you will see a line like that says at media, max width 767.98 pixels, and the font size is 1 EM, the letter spacing is 0 EM, and the line height is 1.75 EM. Now, so basically, this is the CSS for devices that are a maximum width of 767.98 pixels. That 0.98 is probably important somewhere. So what we can do here is we can change the CSS for this particular screen width and put that in our custom CSS. Now, when we do that, there's a little bit of syntax that we have to watch out for, and I'll give you that example right here. Let's say I like this font size EM, but I like rems, so let's go REM, 1 rem, okay, and the line height is a little too spacey for me on this device here. In fact, oh look, I have a little typo there. So I'm going to change the line height, so maybe let's go 1.65. Maybe let's go 1.55. Yeah, that's kind of getting there a bit. Now this is all squished together, but we're going to fix that. But right now I'm going to say, yeah, I like that. I'm going to select the changes that I made here. And now we're going to go into the template, and I'm going to paste. Let's just make some space here. I'm going to paste that CSS. Now, there is a problem here, and it is this. The syntax for this, even though it's displaying here in Element Inspector in Chrome DevTools, you actually need an extra set of left and right braces. And I think of it this way. In fact, let me make this full screen. Okay. So here's the CSS here. Can't move that. That just puts it down over here. All right, maybe I can make this a bit bigger. Let's go. Yeah, I can. All right, great. So, media, max width, 767.98 pixels, and then we have CSS body, and we have the left and right brace. What we need to do is put another brace. Well, it would be like this. Another left brace, and then another right brace down here. Because basically the syntax, if you just ignore this part here, what you do is you have your media query, and then you have CSS that will be shown, and then you have to close it. And you can put multiple CSS rules, which we're going to do. So basically the CSS that you have for this device has to be inside its own set of brackets. And so if we take this out, I could even leave this one up there, of course. So the media, so what we're saying here is if the media, if this device watching is showing the screen is the maximum width of 767.98 pixels, here's the CSS for that. So here, after this bracket, is the CSS for it. This left brace and right brace are, of course, for the CSS itself, but we need to have it inside its own left and right brace. Bjorn says you can use the source tab in the inspector to write CSS code. Yes, yeah, and we're going to be doing some of that too. All right, so here is this. I've added this CSS. Let me take out these extra lines here. All right. And we're going to close that. Our CSS will still be in the bottom here. Okay. And we're going to save. We're going to clear the cache. I'm going to make this back to normal size. Now when we go to the page here and we refresh, we have that same little bit of height. Oh, let's see here. Did the changes take in there? Oh, okay, so my changes down here are being overruled by other things in the CSS. So what I need to do in that case is just go back here and do this. I'm going to put after the CSS, I'm going to go exclamation mark, and then this automatically puts important in, but you might have to type important in your what you're using. And important says, regardless of what comes after this, this is what we want you to pay attention to. All right. Save, and that's refresh. There we go. Now it's closer together, and we see down here the CSS that's taking effect is, I think it's closer together. Yeah, is right here because we have the important. So this stuff gets crossed out up here. So we've gone and we have set the font, we have set the body paragraph to always be that that size. There we go. To always be that, oh, I'm pointing at the screen here. To always be this line height, but only on devices that are up to 767. So if we were to go to iPad Pro, which is wider than that, we would see, let's go here, 100% view here. We would see we're back to a bigger spacing in the on the page, and we could make that change, or maybe I want to make that change on the whole site. Now, something else that's interesting. Now, let's add a second. Let's add a second custom CSS for that device. So let's go back to iPhone 10. Now, notice here that the image here really squishes over, the avatar of me really squishes over this text. So let's say that I want this image to be smaller, but only on phones. How would I do that? Well, there's probably a couple ways to do it, but I'm going to show you the way that I know how to do it. In the back end of the site, we're going to go to content, and this is a featured article, so I know it's the only one on the front. There's Hey There Joomla Fans. And when that opens up, here's my image. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm using JCE Editor. So I click on that image, and I'm going to go to the image properties, and I'm going to give this image a class. It doesn't exist. That's okay. You can put a class on it. As long as it's not a class that exists, you can type anything for a new class, and it's not going to change anything anywhere. But I go to Advanced, I go to Classes, and let's call this AVATAR, Avatar Tim. All right. So we'll hit Enter. Now I have Avatar Tim as a class. I'm going to update, and I'm going to go, Bjorn has, yes, an asteroid. Yes, you have a field to add custom CSS. Bjorn's putting some stuff in there. Display block, minimum width 100%. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go back to the home page here. I'm going to, did I save this here? To make sure that I save this. I'm going to go refresh. And now, when I go to Element Inspector and select on this, we will see in the code here, it says images, graphics, blah, 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 width, height equals 200, class equals Avatar Tim. Cool. Now we can assign some CSS to that class, and I can tell it to be a different percentage on the screen for this particular device. Now check out the cool feature here. When you're working in Element Inspector and you want to add some new, and I'll turn my camera off here again, and you want to edit this, you want it to edit the CSS of something you have highlighted, this plus sign right here is really handy. And see, it says new style rule. When I hit plus, right away up at the top here, look, I've got image.avatarTim. And I don't even need the image.avatarTim. I just want avatar.tim here. And what I'm going to do here is now I'm going to type in here and I'm going to go width. And let's go 50%. Now notice right away the image is 50% its size. Now I'm going to select that CSS and go copy. And I'm going to go back to my template here. And we'll make this big again. All right. Whoops. Well, okay. And this is where, and I'll make this blown up again. Now remember before we had @MediaMaxWidth already here for body. Now we can just add CSS between the left and right brace that applies to the @media line. All right. So we'll do that and go Control V and image.avatarTim width 50%. That means I don't have to have @MediaMaxWidth 767.98 all in this over and over again with each item, because it's within the brackets that belong to that line. And so therefore anything between this bracket and the last bracket that pairs with it works for this. Now you will notice that I get a little triangle here and it says element image.avatarTim is overqualified. Very few things that have to do with my image are ever referred to as overqualified. But it says just use .avatarTim without element name. Okay, so that's cool. We don't need that. I like that. All right, .avatarTim. So now that we've got that, we will close this. We will save. We will clear the cache. And then, clear the cache. And then on home, when I refresh, that image should still be only 50% of the page. And now I have some nice more blocking here for the text around it. I mean, this isn't ideal, but just the way that the line breaks here, it looks kind of big. But if I go back to desktop, look, I get a big image. Well, that's a really big image. Let's fix this here. Let's see here, Control 0. I get the bigger image. But as soon as I go to this particular size, or on a device that's up to 767.98 pixels, I end up with a less wide picture. And that's really nice. So I don't have to try to go in and figure out, hey, how do I do this or change that image. There's probably some something in JCE editor I don't know about for actually showing different widths on different devices. But this is the way I've just learned how to do it, and it works pretty good for what I want to accomplish. Now also notice that when I'm on desktop, there's a bit of space up here, but it's not too bad. But it really shows up here on the mobile. So I can do this. I can go select, and let's find some green space there. All right. So we've got over here card body padding. If I remove that, yeah, that jumps up. So I'm just going to go here. Check this out. I'm going to go padding. Padding top, and I'm going to go 0 pixels. Now notice that moved up. Very nice. So I don't want that on the top. So I'm going to take this card body and I will put it inside. Let's see here. I'm going to put it inside the brackets for this particular media width. Paste it. Now I'm only changing this particular line here, padding top 0. So I'm going to take that, and just for fun, just in case, I'm going to go exclamation mark get the important in there. Save. And now let's go back. Let's just do one more thing to make this bump up. Where else do we have some green here? Oh, there's some green at the top there. Oh, asteroid section, padding 15. Now, things are getting a little bit interesting here, because if I change asteroid section, that's going to change the padding everywhere. So in this case, because I'm just using, I just want to do it on this one particular section, look at down here in the CSS. There's a class, asteroid section, asteroid component section, but there's also an ID. So I'm inclined, in this time, I'm just going to change the ID. So with this highlighted, I'm going to go plus, and look here, this code section hash cs-15 blah, 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 blah. That's the ID. I'm going to change the CSS just for this top ID. And I want the padding, even down here, asteroid section is, the padding is 15. I'm going to change this to padding top and 0 pixels, and it bumps up even more. And then I can take this, copy it. I can, whoops, a daisy. I can go paste it in the code there. Control V. And that's, again, let's do the important. Get these. Isn't it nice? And this, the editor built into Asteroid here that helps me out with my CSS. These triangles just say, hey, use of important. Values of 0 shouldn't have units specified. Oh, I guess, oh, look at that. Didn't know that. In CSS, you can just say 0. Okay. Now it's just use of important. Yeah, there you go. I learn something every day. All right, so we'll clear the cache. Now we're used to this. This is much closer to the top. Let's refresh. And it's closer to the top. And so basically you can, and you know, so what I'm doing here is I'm using the existing CSS. I'm using the existing CSS in the template. I'm really not doing anything too crazy with this. And I'm just taking the existing CSS, editing it, and putting it under a media query. And that is really nice for going through. And so basically, you can create a media query for all the different widths that you have. Now, let me show you how I would do that for the iPad Pro as an example. So let's go to iPad Pro. And let's go to 100% width. So this is how my site would look on an iPad Pro. Okay, not too bad. I still have a bunch of space here that maybe I want to get rid of. And I still have that font thing. Let's say that I want to change the color of Hey There Joomla Fans just for on iPad Pros. Now, when I go over and view down the side here, let's go here, highlight that. Now, when I go over and view down the side here, body A, color, brown, transition, A link. So this is changing a link to sort of a brown that I have there. But when I scroll down, oh, I need to remove my camera here. When I scroll down here, I'm going to look for something that sets the size. And it's like, oh, wait a second. Where's the size for this device? Where's the media query? Oh, there isn't. It must just be using, there might be not one for this. No problem. What you can do is this. Go up to the top of Element Inspector or to Chrome DevTools, and up here you will see the dimensions of the device that you've selected that you're viewing. Now this one is 1024 by 1366. So 1024 across. So why don't we create a media query for devices up to that width? And to do that, we'll simply do this. We'll go back into our asteroid template here. Let's make this big and plus. I'm going to take this line here at media max width 767.98. I'm going to copy it, including the first left brace. I'm going to go down to the bottom here. Let's put it up here on the line. Okay, I'm going to paste it. Whoops. All right, I'm going to paste it. And now I'm just going to make some space here, and I'm going to put in the right brace. So now I have a section for a media query, a second one, but I'm going to change it to, let's see, up here, 1024. So I'm going to make a media query for max width 1024. Now what I can do is I can change the body A to a different color. So let's just here select the color. What will I do? Let's make it super orange. Yeah. So I select body A. Okay. And body is, so the A is what color link's going to be. Whoops. Now I'm going to paste that in between my brackets for the media query. Now, of course, here's body A, and it has left and right braces as well. Now, and that's just for fun, let's do this here. Let's go exclamation mark important. All right. I'm going to save. I'm going to clear that. And now I'm going to refresh, and hopefully that's going to show up orange. Actually, look, I changed all my links. Okay, no worries. But check this out. I'll make me disappear. Here now we have showing up at media max width 1024. So pretty cool. Now this is also, so basically what you can do is when you build your site and design it for whichever device you're designing it for, you can then later on create media queries and different rules that help it look good on each and every device. And you are limited. I'm not even sure if there's some way that you can name which device that you want to show up on. It might. But basically, if you know the width of a device, you can program exactly for it. As long as you have the different widths. So here, look, Moto G4. It's 360 wide. So now I've changed the orange for everything up to 1024. So actually, if I were to go and change this down here, make me disappear, I think this will work. If I change the max width to 360, all right, and then change the color to red, there, I've changed it only for up to 360. But after 360, it would still be orange because that's the color that I set for up to 1024. Then if you switch to something larger than 1024, you're going to go to what the core is on. You're going to go to what the core is on your basic CSS. And Mary says, oh, Brian says, yes, I did because I used the class body A, which equals all links. Yeah. So what I could have changed was maybe, because it's also heading 2. And look at that. Here's the heading 2. Heading 2 and .h2. That's where the size is set. I could actually change the color for A, which would be h2.h2, and then I think an A, and then only that link would change. But my big goal here today was just to pass along this stuff that I learned, that it's not too hard to make your site look better on multiple devices just by using these media queries. And this is just a beginning look at them. That is going to be really, really nice. You can use Chrome DevTools to look at your site previewed in different or on different devices, tag or touch up CSS where you need to so it looks good everywhere, and it's going to be a much better viewing experience. You're going to enjoy your site more, and your client is going to enjoy their site more too, as it works on different devices and you do some of these things. So yeah, pretty cool. I am enjoying that very much, and like I said, this is just something that just twigged for me. Let's just go back. Let's take a look at just some examples of what other things you can do with media queries. So here, this is querying the screen size. This is something that I don't worry about because it's all handled in the templates that I use with Asteroid. But you can set breakpoints. All right, so you can set breakpoints for a column. Like I said, that's all already handled in the templates that I use. And the CSS for that would be class star equals call dash width 100% for mobile phones. That'd be something to play around with. They say always design for mobile first. If you build a page so it works on mobile and then see how it looks on desktop, maybe you'll have fewer changes. But so here's an example for mobile phones. What width one column would be 0.833%. Something that's two columns is 16. So if you really like playing around with your templates that way. What else have they got down here? They're using more examples for columns, spanning things, device breakpoints. Now here they're showing typical device breakpoints. Extra small devices, phones 600 pixels and down. Here's your codes for them. As we saw, we could do something on a device that's only 360. That could include resizing the percentage of a logo. And then orientation. Let's see, media only screen. Orientation, landscape. That would be your media query. And if something is in landscape, you can give it a light blue background. And hide elements. So this is another good one too. If the screen size is 600 pixels wide or less, hide the element. Let's play around with that. Let's see, div display none. So let's say I don't even want my picture to show up on the 360 wide. So let's go here. That would be avatar Tim. So we will click here. I'll turn my camera off here again. And where are we here? So we would go here and click on me. And then I would hit plus. And then I would say display. I think that's what it was, right? Display. Yeah. All right. Avatar Tim. Display. And then I would go colon and I would type none. And look at that. So what I could do in this case is I could say on mobile devices that are under 360, don't even display the avatar. We just don't want to see that. Or maybe on small devices like that, you don't want any images. So you could apply the display none to something has image. Bjorn says, yeah, your review on JD Builder. Yeah, Bjorn has a really nice review on JD Builder on his site, Joomla Forever. So yeah, so the high display none is really nice because maybe you just don't want that being seen, just too cluttered on your mobile device, right? So just hide it, just make it go away, and that gives you some things to play with. What else have we got up here? What else have we got up here? Okay. Oh, variable font size. Yes. So if the screen size is 601 or more, set the font size of div to 80 pixels. Div font size 80 pixels of div.example. If it's 600 or less, font size 30. So you can look and see what's comfortable. And it says, for a full overview of all the media types and features expressions, please look at the @media rule in our CSS reference. So let's check that out. So we have seen this. So that's screen width, browsers that support this, media, not only media, the syntax for it. And so you have media types, all printers, computer screens, tablets, smartphones. Well, apparently, if it's going to a printer, you can set a certain width. Any hover, any pointer, aspect ratio. Any hover. Does any available input mechanism allow the user to hover over elements? Grid, the viewport height. Hover. Does the element allow hover? Anyways, so if it allows hover, use a certain CSS. Maximum width. Look at all these things that you can search for. All right. Maximum monochrome. Look for bits per color. So if it's a grayscale device, maybe you don't want to show a tiny color picture. Oh, lots of things here. Browsers width 600. There's an example. Light blue. I think this. I bet you these. Responsive navigation menu. So floating a menu if it's certain size. So maybe you want a menu to like on mine on the iPad there it breaks into 2 rows, so you always want it centered. Just the things that you want to do. I should paste this in chat as well. I'll put this in the video description as well. And they have somewhere for you to play around down here with different CSS. Try it yourself. Yeah, so here's your code, and here's what you see over here. And it says resize the browser window to see the responsive effect. So you can play around with that there. So a fun new tool for me to have in the toolbox, because honestly, looking at my sites, I thought, oh, that doesn't look great, but I'll have to get to that sometime. And then it's like, oh, wait a second. Now I just have to sit. I got it. It clicked. I just have to sit there, work away, make some things look a little bit different, pop it into the custom CSS, and it's easy peasy. And I like easy peasy. Sometimes it takes it a while for it to click on in my mind, but that is that's how it is in my mind. So I hopefully that is helpful for you. Helpful or people who are watching on a replay here. We're going to keep chatting. If that does it for you, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And ring the bell to get new notifications of new tutorials, which I'm making more of now, and live streams here on the channel. And ring the bell so you get notifications. Yeah, I said that. If you're leaving now, thanks for watching. Enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless. And for those of you who are staying, thank you for staying. Yes. Really happy to have this down in mind here. Can I explain the CSS inline? Oh, okay. Well, I believe CSS inline, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but is when instead of putting the CSS right in an external style sheet, you have it right inside your coding. All right, so while someone types there, I'm going to go, what is CSS inline? And let's check this out. An inline, all right, an inline CSS is used to apply unique style to a single HTML element. Yes. So here is, right in your coding, H1 style equals color blue, a blue heading. So let's put this here. We'll just copy this example. Let's go to my basic Joomla site here. And at the very end, let's put it at the very end of this page. All right. I'm going to put a bunch of G's here so that when we go into the code, I can find them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Control V, and I'm actually putting the code in the page. Hey, good, Brian. Mary says she doesn't get notifications anymore. Huh. Because I did do this early enough last night. Maybe turn your bell setting off for the channel and turn it back on. Ivor, so here we have H1, I'll blow this up here. Here we have H1 style equals color blue. And this is inline. It's not in the, this is setting the color for H1 inline, not out of the document in a CSS. So now when we go save and then go to home, let's close this here and we go refresh. Oh, this is still blown up big. Is it there? Oh, still, it just, okay, just finished saving. So that's clean the cache. Let's go refresh. It's not there. There's that line there. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, so big. What do we got here? A blue heading. We have that there. I'm going to save it one more time. Yeah, because Mary, I had this lined up last night. Oh, I think I had 10 hours to go. That's usually enough time for a warning to go out, but I don't know why you wouldn't get a notification. Others, did anybody else in chat here? Did you also use the? Did you get an alert when I went online today? Unless I've accidentally don't have that on. Yeah, I could check that on the channel because remember a couple of weeks ago I made a copy of I made a brand new live stream. Maybe that's a setting that didn't get carried over. All right. Oh, here we go. Blue heading is down at the bottom here. Oh, it's just way down. Yeah. Okay. So there, Ivor, is the inline CSS. Now, the nice thing about inline CSS, or having the CSS inside of a document, is that with it there, it's faster because it's one less call to an external CSS, right? So if you were able to manage to not use a custom CSS file, which is a separate file, and just have everything in line, your site would load faster. So for instance, even if this was the only thing you customized on your site, was just your headings, and you put that in line in this article, then you would get away with not using a custom CSS. All CSS goes in the page if you see the source code of the page. Yeah, what Bjorn has said there. So there's an advantage to doing things that way, especially if you're just doing a one-off. But once you have a custom CSS file, it's still going to be called to load. You might as well put some things in there. Plus, do you want to go and add? Do you want to go and add the? What was I going to say here? Do you want to go and add that inline CSS everywhere that you're using heading 1? I don't think so. But now, having said that, I will say this. Let me just go back and fix that. Take out those extra lines. Okay. Also, I noticed in here that this has a div class video responsive. Because I linked. Yeah, I've linked the video. I've linked to that video. To help the page load faster, I don't have the video embedded. I actually just put in the thumbnail and link to it. But going back to Asteroid, to change something like the color of a heading, you can put that in a custom CSS file, but Asteroid already has places where you can go and you can change the header. You can change the header color, the sticky header color, the main menu, drop down, off canvas, mobile. You can also go into typography, and here's where you can change body and menu sizes and drop down and H1 and the font color for H1 over here. So if you have a template that gives you these options, then do the custom CSS. Change your colors right in here because it's already compressing all this information anyways. So you don't need it in a separate file. It's just for things that you cannot change in your template, settings that you can't change in your template that you really need to use the custom CSS. Now I'm going to show you something. Can I show this? Yes, I think I can show this. I'm going to put this on another screen just for me to double check here. smartdrivetest.com. This is my friend Rick's site. And to get this opened up here. And I'm going to show you extensions and templates. All right, so look what we're doing here on Rick's site. We have a whole bunch of different versions of the template that he's using. They're mostly all JD haulage, but I started moving them over to default ones. I was thinking about moving to Asteroid template 1. But so look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different templates in play here, assigned on at least one page, and the default. The default, this is an empty template that wraps for courses that are Moodle. Here's an to show students courses, landing pages, just different things that we've set up. Now, if I want to change heading 1 to a different color on Rick's site, and I was going to use Asteroid, the actual settings in it, what I would have to do is I would have to open up every single one of these and then go to every single spot and change heading and do it all. So what I do on this site is, and I think I can show you this, we go in. Bjorn brings it up. Yeah, better in file for most CSS. Yeah, and he mentions page overrides. Yeah, so you could do a page override and have the common CSS that you're changing in that page override. That's another cool way to do it. What I've done here on Rick's site is I use a custom CSS file. It's actually called, in this case, it's called JD-haulage custom CSS. So I have a custom CSS file. It's in the root of the install. And I put all my custom CSS changes for his sites in that one CSS, and all 5 instances of the template draw on that file for changes. So I don't have to go in and change heading 1 over and over and over again everywhere. This is especially nice for developing and trying different things, because you just changing things in one place and then it gets picked up everywhere. It does, of course, it is adding another file, but it's not doing any custom CSS here, because I have all the changes down in that. Yeah, and as Bjorn says, you can just add custom.css in the template. Yeah, you could do that without having to have it outside. It just really all depends on the template that you're using, the system that you're using, and just as you navigate your way along on that. So yeah, that's kind of oh boy, that was a good drink of water. That's kind of what we're looking at doing, and let me show you a site that I'm working on right now. Been working on it for months. fcp.co. This I think I probably will show off this site when it's super done, but this is a site I've been working on redoing, and it was a rocket theme page template. I switched it to Asteroid, and actually this home page is a ton of Raxo modules and different layouts and adjustments, and I put it all together in a JD builder page, because here we have 2 columns. I actually have 1 column across. Raxo shows 2 columns within it. This is 1 column across in the template, but here these are 3 columns in the template, but I wanted them all in the same area so that the right column still went down past all of them. So this is, it's a big page, a lot of images, still working on tweaking some of the borders here. But now when I hit F12, oh, I can't, oh yeah, that will work. Let's take a look at it on the iPhone 10. That's what I've got it lined up for. Let's see here, 100%. Okay, this is not, let's see here, iPhone 10, let's refresh. All right, so what is not, this was working last night when I went to bed. Let's just try this here. New incognito window. Control V. F12. Oh, isn't that weird? This literally was working last night. iPad Pro. Okay, I've understood. Yeah, iPad Pro. Now I made some, oh, you know what? I made some changes to iPad Pro. This, I need to work on the width of this black box here. I made some changes last night so that it worked on the iPad Pro, and I bet you what I did was, in changing the custom CSS and dividers for devices up to a certain size, I went and broke what the what it is for iPad 10. Yes, that's what I've done probably. Oh, you know what? I've probably, yeah. So I'm gonna have to go in and tweak that a little bit. So I'm glad I looked at that. I'll fix that later on. A police car just pulled over a speeder out in front of my house. So the RCMP are out there in their white and blue and red flashing lights. I had a nice visit with the police officer out in front of my house last week because there was a deer got hit by a car and was dead in the bike lane right in front of my driveway. So he was, I tried to call the city. It was on a Sunday and I couldn't get through the number, and then he was there, so I went out and chatted him up. Anyway, so this is looking good here. I'm going to have to fix that on the iPad, on the iPhone later on. All right, so because if I remember right, F12, oh, the logo showing is just this. I need to change this width here. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it depends on which, maybe it depends on where I have the CSS too. Yes, I bet you I've changed something. Okay, so I'll fix that. I don't want to show the guts of my client's site on here because I don't have his permission to, but I can show you what's happening on here. Bjorn says that is a that Joomla Forever is CSS file minified. Okay. Oh, there you go. That's his custom CSS minified. Yeah. So it actually, that's your custom CSS file, and it's minified, which means there's no extra spaces or anything, endings or that. It has just stripped it down so it loads fast. I wonder if I've done that on my site. Let's refresh here. Let's go F12 for let's see here. Let's find my custom CSS file, which will be back here. Oh, maybe I want to do view page source. View page source. And now I'm going to search for F3CUSTOM. No, that one's not there. What's this customized CSS up here? How did you, I may have forgotten the important, just thinking about, I did the iPhone 10, which is only a certain width. Then I did iPad Pro, which is wider. And I did it second, so the iPad Pro CSS is down below. No, obviously I've changed something in iPad Pro, and it comes after. I'll have to see what I did. Obviously I've changed something to do with the width, which is probably a good reminder to, when you're fiddling around with stuff, go back and check other things that you've done. I'll figure it out. I think it's just the width of the screen, what it should be set to. Okay, so Bjorn has put the CSS file, which is minified, and then you've put it right inside the template so it loads fast. Oh, I like that. Good idea. Let me make a little note of that. Minify CSS, put right in template. Good idea. That's a good suggestion. Yeah, and then that way you do all the CSN renders for each page. Okay. Oh, so are you saying that you have different CSS for each page and you only have what you need for each page? You add the CSS to every single page? Is that what you're saying, Bjorn? Because that would make sense too. I could see how that would be something that you'd want to do after you have your design done. Oh, you said no. We will see what you say there. Let's bring that chat up on right. Oh, you look for the style tag on your page. And then go here. Oh, here goes F3. Let's go style STYLE. Up at the top here. Oh, an asteroid, all CSS goes in line. Okay. All right. On all pages. Okay. That's where they put it. Okay. That's if you set it to minify. Because here they're calling actual files here, right? Some style sheets. But I think that's if you select miscellaneous, minify, there's something. Oh, minify JS CSS. Chat on right computer screen. Minify and combine all CSS. Oh, cool. Minify JavaScript, minify HTML. I saw someone the other day that was having a problem with header image showing up because they had Minify CSS. Oh, you're saying no. You will have to do a blurb on it on Joomla Forever so I can read and I can follow. Then I can give you a shout out too. Because I don't think we'll solve it quickly here on the in the chat here. All right. I'll keep watching for what you're saying there, Bjorn. But in the meantime, anyone else have anything new to share? I think I hear my fireplace guys upstairs getting ready to do some stuff. I'll put on my mask. Hey, check out. Hey, guess what color my mask is? You got it. A nice orange mask. My sister made this for me. IvorEelslap.com. All right, let's check it out, Ivor. Slaps. Okay, Ivor's got a. Bjorn has a link here. Three ways to optimize the use of CSS and content with Joomla. And you've got it on your site. Cool. All right, so which glasses am I going to put on here? Code directly as you go. Use an external file. Use an extension. Add CSS code in the article. 2 and 3. The combination of the option 2 and 3 will give the easiest result. You can standardize some of the CSS styles in the file and add styles in that applies to certain articles at one add-on at the end of each written article. Okay. All right. So code directly as you go. That's doing it inline, because you won't be able to reuse the CSS. Use an external file. Use an external file. CSS normally located under CSS folder. Yeah, or put it in. Or use an extension to add CSS code in the article. If you want to use an extension to insert CSS in an article, you can not reuse the CSS code while having it in every article. Combination of the two. So an extension. Is there a particular an extension that you use to do that? I guess you could just use a plugin. Or a module. A module would also embed it in too, right? Oh, Sorcerer, of course. Yes, Sorcerer. Sorcerer from Regular Labs. That's a great way to put code in. Good idea. All right. I'm going to have to experiment with that and have a look at them. And maybe I'll do a video on that one day. All right, everyone. Well, with the eel slap, I think I will... that's pretty good. Now, an eel, is that lunch for you, Ivor? Are eels a delicacy or something? I don't think anyone's eating eel out here. I'm not on the West Coast. We got some other slimy stuff that the people like to eat. So I think I'll wrap things up there so that we can, yeah, for some, not for you. Okay. But I'm going to wrap things up there because I'm going to go up, check on the progress of the fireplace. I think it might be close to being done. And we're going to have to turn the gas off, which means the heat is off downstairs. I need to relight the pilot. You're very welcome, Bjorn. Thanks, everybody. And Bjorn, thanks and everybody for your input on this and some ideas for other tutorials. Yes. So everybody, thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for your support too. Your comments on the edited or produced tutorials I've been putting on the last couple of weeks. Now that Maintenance Monday has switched to that, starting to get in a rhythm of doing that. And so, you know, my goal to have at least one video per 6 videos a week for the year, including videos I make communicating with clients. So we're getting there. Chuck, yes, see you. Mary says, have a great week, guys. Yeah, we need another non-guy here we need a gal in the channel here, so Mary's not alone. Anyways, everyone, I hope that you are doing well and that where you are is good, be it morning, afternoon, evening, or tomorrow. And until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless.